Hey guys, welcome to Living in South Florida Does Not Suck. This is Andrew Burr from the Andrew Burr Group at the Kai's Company. We can't wait to get started. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Living in South Florida Does Not Suck. Today's guest is David Salley, good friend of mine, member of my Rotary Club. Has been described to me as a very, very nice gentleman by somebody that I trust, so I'm going to go with that. Dave is in the financial services industry as a financial advisor. We're going to get into that more deeply in our next episode of Real Talk, which we'll do right after this. So if you're interested in that aspect, please do turn into Real Talk. We'll talk about how that affects your life here in South Florida. But what we really want to know, Dave, what brought you to South Florida?
First off, thank you for having me on the show.
You're welcome.
Just didn't realize how popular it was getting in the doors to this building. It was slam packed out there. So you have a lot of fans.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I do.
Definitely appreciate it. So what brought me to South Florida? I guess you would have to go with what brought me to Florida in general, which was so I served in the military.
Mm-hmm.
And when I
knew that. Thank you for your service.
Thank you. When I got out, I wanted to go to college, finish college, because I actually started some classes while I was in, and I figured what better place to come than sunny Florida.
GI Bill?
Yeah, it's GI Bill.
Bill's an amazing thing.
So I went to Embry-Riddle in Daytona Beach, Florida.
Okay,
So
good school.
Great spot for a young person to come to go to college.
Yeah, very good school. And ladies and gentlemen, youngsters, he's a youngster compared to me, but youngsters, let this be a lesson to you. The United States military is a great option. Not only do you get to serve your country, but the benefits of joining the military are incredible. We've had several people on there. I mean, I was in the service myself, but we've had several people that the service transformed their entire lives and made things possible that would have never been possible otherwise. So take that as a little tip. If you're looking for something to do with your life, check out the U.S. military. All right. So that being said, Embry-Riddle, great school.
Great school. Obviously,
fun town.
Aviation.
Yeah.
So you're probably sitting there, if you're not wondering, everybody's wondering, how did you go from aviation to financial advisor?
Because you look kind of like a airplane mechanic, sort of.
So I wasn't a mechanic. I was actually an air traffic controller.
Close.
And I went to, I was a certified air traffic controller. And when I was in college, right when I was about to graduate, September 11th hit. Actually, I was in class. It was going
really?
on. So went through that. And everybody out there who's old enough remembers it, and the younger people, I always encourage them to go. You can still YouTube the news from that day.
Yeah.
And you'd be amazed at what was shown live.
It was a crazy day, man. Yeah.
So I actually finished my degree and actually aged out because I was already 5 years in the military. So they quit hiring air traffic controllers at the time to hire air marshals. They started that whole program.
Yeah, that's true because they totally changed the.
So I aged out, got too old to actually be hired as an air traffic controller, and then I went back and got my degree and ultimately switched to finance and financial advisor, and it's gotten me to where I am today.
Well, so you're doing pretty good, so that's good. But I'll tell you right now, I'm pretty sure that you could probably go get a job right now as an aircraft, whatever the hell, controller thing. Because they are just fresh out of those guys.
They are out of them, but they do have an age limit on their hiring. So you can't get hired, I think it's past age 31.
That's like a new hire.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
How when did they cut you off? I'm just curious, like 50 or out or whatever?
I think it's 59 and you're done.
Oh, wow. Crazy. Yeah, because I changed some stuff with pilots too.
Correct.
But that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. So let's get back to it. So all right. So Embry-Riddle, boom. We know where you're at. We know where you're at now with that. But physically, what brought you from say Daytona down here?
Daytona to here was actually a job. Ended up working in the finance department of an aviation company.
Ties together
which
pretty good.
At the time I had so for me personally, I had a financial advisor from the age of about 19 on that I started investing with. Did not have a lot of money, but he didn't turn me down.
Yeah.
And
that's what people like about you too, I heard.
Very true. No, I actually don't have a limit simply because of this story.
Yeah.
And it helped me because then when I got into my 30s, I actually had some money saved aside that I used to buy my house.
That's awesome.
So kind of ties in.
Go figure. Ties into the whole real estate aspect of the show. But yeah, and that's and that is something that a lot of people, younger people just don't get. And I got to give Dave a personal shout out because my daughter Megan went and talked to him, and they had a conversation. And I don't know what the totality of the conversation was, but she was very inspired And she has a savings program now in place. And she thinks, she told me she's going to have like $7,000 by the end of this year.
Yes.
And she wants to take a portion of that. She's actually going to invest it with you, but then she's going to do another year and try to double her investment in herself, I guess.
There you go.
And, because she wants to also buy a house. And I mean, the bottom line is, in that sort of vein, I'm a realtor. Yeah, you have to have a certain amount of money to buy a house. Of course, you have to have a certain amount of money to rent, and that number is getting incredibly crazy. Although there is some relief on the horizon on that, maybe, but different story. This is Dave's story. So you got a aviation company, finance, whatever, but that wasn't advising. That was just a financial position.
Right.
And then you met a girl.
I did meet a girl, actually right here in Wellington, Florida, at Chili's happy hour.
Wow.
So.
See, it ties into the
is there laughter buttons right there? Is there actually, we can hit those, right?
Yeah. You can push one. Let's see what happens. Oh, wow, that actually works. I've never touched one of those.
Right. So,
how do you turn that shit off? You hit it again?
Yeah.
See, what do these other things say?
Oh, we got a lot of things. Trombone, scary, magical.
Oh, hit the scary one.
So if we
I can't put my glasses on.
If we hit that awkward moment, we can get to crickets.
No, hit the scary one. I want to see what the scary one sounds like. I can't read them. Oh, that's spooky.
That was more so for me, it was laughter when I met her. For her, it was definitely the scary button.
Well, it appears to have worked out. So, I mean,
yes, we've been married for insert amount of years, maybe 13. I think we just had our 14th anniversary.
Oh, I hope she doesn't watch this.
Yes.
See, I've been married for 30.
Sorry.
You just can play with the buttons the whole show today. I've been married for 30 plus years, so I'm allowed to forget how many years it is. You're not there yet, man. You got to get past 20 before you. So break out the roses and the champagne tonight and go, look, if you ever happen to watch that episode, I was close, right? But you also have two kids.
Two young children. A young daughter who is very charismatic. She is the outgoing type, the one who won the sock, crazy sock contest at her vocational Bible school this week. And then my son Blake, who ducks his head when she wins the contest.
Yeah, but he's more of an athlete. Though,
yeah, they both do. She does tennis and he does baseball.
Oh, I didn't know she did. I knew about the baseball and football.
Tennis Center.
Yeah, I didn't know she did tennis. That's good. That's awesome. So that obviously ties into living in South Florida does not suck. So the obvious segue is, what's the best thing about being a parent of younger kids? Here in South Florida, like what do you think makes it better than? Where are you from originally?
Virginia.
What do you think makes it better than Virginia?
I enjoyed Virginia.
Sorry, Virginia.
Different times, and in Virginia we were not as dense or didn't have as much of a population. So down here, I absolutely love with the kids the amount of sports we get to do.
Right.
And not just the amount of sports, so my daughter does tennis. We have the Wellington Tennis Center right here, and they even have, the equivalent of a travel team, if you would.
Right.
They get to go around. They're Sharon's 10U team just won states. So that's good. And then they have baseball. I mean, it's Florida.
I know.
They play baseball year round, not to mention the football. So I really love the fact that I can keep my kids busy all day, and if I can do that all the way through high school, that's the goal.
And busy outside most of the time, being active and stuff.
Yes.
And as viewers of this podcast will know, the travel league thing really comes up very regularly here with people who have kids because it's all year round. They don't stop, right?
Correct.
So now you have a son that's in a baseball travel league,
yes,
and a daughter that's in a tennis travel league. How do you? I mean, obviously both of you as parents have to be doing separate duty at separate places a lot.
So a little bit of my history too is
you're a coach too.
I did coach high school for I think it was 13 years. Last year at the King's Academy, had to step down. I'd still go there and volunteer my time a few days a week, but really step down from that, and it now becomes a lot of evenings. I started to get that feeling, and a lot of parents out there might feel the same. Like I really enjoyed the kids I was coaching, but then you're coaching another one's kid, and you're missing your own kids' events.
Yeah, no, I get
so
it.
That can start to bother you. So step down from that. Plus, my business started to get a little busier, so able to really evolve into focusing on my business, and then in the evenings are when most of the events are. We'll split our time. Sometimes I miss sharing my daughter's tennis because I'm coaching the baseball, but it's all part of somebody is there watching them.
But the travel aspect, I mean, is it true travel leagues like like Tiffany's kids, like
yes.
All the way up to Orlando and all that sort of stuff?
So yes, you can, but we actually just stay all local because there's so many teams local that you can do. You can stay right here in South Florida and play 20, 30, 40 games a year if you want.
No, I
just play all local teams.
For some reason, I thought that you were involved in one of those travel leagues that traveled all over the place too.
We are, but we just don't do it yet. They're 8. My son's 8. So it's kind of like, we'll wait till,
Got
get there to a point.
But then, and this, it is, it's a topic that comes up over and over again. But I mean, it's very different and very unique from anywhere. I mean, north of South Florida, in my mind. I mean, because it is a 365.
Yes.
There's no like we're going to stop for.
If people hear this podcast all over the country, they will sit there and look at you like you're crazy because we start baseball in January.
Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah, that's great.
Who else can do that?
So, a good friend of ours, good friends of ours live up in Ohio, and we're talking about this another one, and their kid started, I don't know, maybe like a month ago, maybe, but they were like, okay, 2 weeks of practice, boom, into games, and they're going to try to get as many games in as they can, and then boom, because they only have such a short window, and he just like, the first day it was snowing or something. I mean, like just crazy, and they're like, it's, whatever. So, but that is one of the biggest differences is that everything down here is pretty much 365. There's not, maybe we get the rain or whatever, and as I can't remember who pointed out, we do get like 1 week of cold, and that's cold for us, not cold for you. I mean, typically if it gets below 60, I kind of call in sick. Like I don't even go to the office. I just sit in my jammies in the office behind the computer.
Number.
60 is the magic number. Anything below
for people north of Florida, let me hit this for them real quick.
Oh yeah,
because they're not thinking below 60 is winter.
No, below 60 is definitely winter. But that's also like the water temperature to get in water, that changes too. Like when I was up in Maine when I was a young man, we would jump in Green Lake and it was probably 57 or something. You'd literally jump in and go, oh, and your body, like your muscles, everything would just contract. So you'd have to sit there and sink a little bit, and then eventually you'd be able to start moving, and then you'd start getting up and you just finally get air, and then after 20 minutes you're a kid, you don't care. You're like, this is awesome, right? Now straight 87. Like if it's not above 87, just turn the pool heater on, whatever. Just can't do it. It's just too cold. So how are you on that?
So one of the reasons I came to Florida is we talked about for college, and my parents talked about, at the time finishing up towards Virginia, and I was like, I want to go where it's warm.
Yeah.
I wanted to go where it's warm. And then when I finished school, they're like, okay, come back home. And I'm like, it's still cold up there, right? Like it didn't, like Virginia didn't get warmer.
Well, generally, what part of Virginia? Because there's
Chesapeake, close to Virginia Beach area, so it's really not that bad.
Yeah, well, it's like there's some right, exactly. There is some divergence in Virginia's. Like there's parts of Virginia, like Goochland County.
Yes,
like the
up near Blacksburg.
Yeah, there's just crazy. Like in northern, like northwestern Virginia, gets pretty brutal. But Chesapeake's pretty cool. Actually, I mean, look, I went to college in Va Beach, actually in Hampton Roads, but Virginia Beach, I'm very familiar, and that was a cool little fun town. Little small town back then.
It's not now.
Yeah, that's what I heard, man. Big. And there was that one little strip along the beach where it had all the bars and stuff, and it was cool. So I mean, dude, that was such a happening scene too. I remember seeing Blues Traveler coming through there. Vince Neil owned a bar back in the. It was Vince Neil had the bar down there. It was such a cool happening scene down there at that time. Which what was that, like 90s, 80s? I don't remember. Because it was so cool and so happening. I just don't really remember, but I know I went to college. So anyways, but it's definitely different. So in the beach is different. So let's get to the beaches, right? Because that is a beach town. It is a beach. I will tell you this. I not once stepped on the sand in Virginia Beach. Once.
It's hot.
I looked at it. Well, it's not.
It cranks hot. For some reason, the sand is way hotter. It's a darker color for one. I don't know if that matters, but
darker colors absorb heat more.
It doesn't seem bad, but you literally walk on the beach there. You got to wear the sandals.
See, I thought no redeeming value. That's what I thought. I thought I'm not getting in that water anyways. You step in the water, you can't. You're ankle deep. You can't see the bottom. You got all them damn. Yeah, that's it.
So you talk about something that's a bonus in South Florida is the beaches are amazing. The snorkeling. I don't know if you snorkel or dive or any of that. We recently, in the last maybe year or two, discovered with our kids the Blue Heron Bridge.
Oh yeah, right underneath it, man. Phipps Park, whatever, the little park down there. That's where they train.
We've seen stars.
That is like one of the top scuba training areas right there too. I mean, there's 2 schools right across the street, and if you go underneath it there, especially where the rest of the little old bridge is, and they still got the upside down. Shopping carts that have been down there for decades and all that kind of stuff. It is just a harborage of so many species of fish. There's always big hogfish down there.
Does that say octopuses? Is it octopi?
Octopi.
If there's more than one?
Octopi.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah, and if there's a bunch of them, it's an octopod.
Is it octopod?
No, I just made that up. I don't know. Hey, Tyler, can we check that? What is a group of octopuses called? I don't think there's even such a thing. You never seen
Hold on. While we're waiting for the answer.
Ah, that's awesome. Crickets.
We got crickets.
God, I got to put my glasses on before I put these headphones on. But yeah, no. So it's and there's everything. And that's the other cool thing about South Florida. If you're a water person, if you're into that, like, you know, I've been snorkeling, whatever. I've been in the water all over the Caribbean, all kind of different places. Outside of the Cayman Islands, which was just balls out amazing. I mean, just one of the most amazing. And it's like a little shelf. And if you're a stupid tourist like me, you get on the boat and they go, and then they go, chuk, 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 chuk. They got like 500 feet and they go, okay, jump off the boat. It's like, Christ, I could have just jumped off the shore. Anyways, that's amazing because every ship that wrecks there is all like piled up in this little teeny area that's maybe a mile and a half or something.
And you don't have to have a really deep certification of diving. You just get the open water to 60 feet and it's magical down there.
Yeah. Well,
it's literally magical.
God, we got great buttons. You should have never showed me. This is going to ruin this podcast. And I will have my glasses on underneath of these next time. But here's the thing. So, yeah, and same thing applies here. Because honestly, you don't need to dive here. There is so much, 20 feet. I mean,
I've gone off the beach before. Mm-hmm. You know, just fins and masks.
Got to MacArthur.
Okay.
All right, so I got to MacArthur State Park on the Palm Beach Shores, whatever it is over there. Is that MacArthur? God, I always screw these parks up, which one's which. But there's actually two parks out there. So you got the big one, which I think, I'm in my mind saying MacArthur, but I could be wrong. And that's got all kinds of little snorkeling areas. And then if you go over the bridge, the Blue Heron Bridge, go around the corner to the left there.
Okay.
Before you get to MacArthur or whatever that is, there's a little thing that's called like Crystal Waters or something, and it's just it's a parking space. Basically, there's room for like 10 cars, but it's on the backside, and there's this little lagoon. It's just amazing, man, and that's like all baby everything, but there's so much down there. It's It's incredible. We have so many parks and different things you can do there. It's probably not MacArthur, but I'll have to figure it out.
It is amazing.
We used to do that all the time. Now, once again, this is, when I'm saying used to, because we used to do that all the time. Now we have the house and the keys and stuff, so we have other stuff that we do, and we go down there for our water play. But it's incredible the amount of beach parks, and I'm not a beach fan. We've been over there before. Don't like the sand and all that sort of stuff. In the water, awesome. Sand, not so much. But there are so many of those little parks around here, and as you come west out here, I mean, where we're sitting, there's at least a half a dozen nature preserve type parks and stuff that I can think of.
Have you ever been fishing in this area? Just in our
yeah. We used to all the time.
Goodness.
Yeah. I mean, I don't fish here anymore because I go down south to fish. And honestly, I'm not a freshwater fisherman so much anymore, because once you start getting the saltwater little hook, man, it's a totally different thing. And if you're bringing in it could be the nicest largemouth bass in the world, and you're like, oh, it's a largemouth bass, and then you're like, snapped into a swordfish that's 180, different thing. But it is
young
fun.
Kids who do it too. Young kids, they can just walk around and do it. Keeps them busy. And
And you can hit any well, technically in some neighborhoods you're not allowed to fish in especially if it has a fence around it. Don't go in there and fish in their ponds because they get upset. But other than that, you can throw a hook with a worm into any piece of water out here, and you're going to catch all kind of stuff.
Most people are pretty friendly about it. Like you said, just don't go in the one that's got a fence around it.
That's right. Little planned unit developments. They don't like it. And that is true. I mean, there's and now, I'm not saying it's necessarily a good thing that we have such a variety of stuff here, because some of it we don't really want or need, but everything that comes to Florida and gets into Florida water, dirt, houses, loves it, grows, prospers. But it's a lot of fun if you're inclined with that sort of thing. And it's really quick and really easy. Like you said, you just pop out, boom, you're out there in 5 minutes and
done.
Right. Which is helpful when you have smaller kids.
Yes,
thankfully.
They love it.
Empty nester.
My boy loves it.
Love it. Love it. All right. Do you guys get to the beach anymore? Because that's something that often comes up too.
My kids love the beach. Yes, they do love the beach. They go down there. They go to Lake Worth Beach. You also have the ones up in Jupiter. You have like we talked about, the bridge. Sometimes we just go there and hang out kind of at the bridge. because some people have fairer skin than others. So when you can be in the shade,
sit under the bridge.
The shade,
yeah, there
right?
you go. Yeah,
and
makes sense.
I may have fallen asleep underneath the bridge a few times while the kids, are
Did their
playing.
thing. Yeah, no, it's
enjoyable.
It is a cool little park, and it's it's pretty unique. And if you get really lucky, you can go on lake and park in that little. Well, actually, I think they're building something there now, so you got to go across and park in the.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, and all this stuff that we're talking about is within, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes.
Yes.
That's probably on the far margin. That might even be a half an hour with heavy traffic up the bridge. Now, it didn't used to be.
Drive anywhere is easy.
But yeah, they're all pretty easy. Yeah.
And we're right here in Wellington. You're west, so there's other spots where you might even be closer.
Absolutely.
There's
tons.
Like you said, if you're talking about South Florida and the things that are enjoyable to do in it, there's just, if you like to do outside stuff, this is a primo spot.
Yeah, we've done golf ad nauseum and all that sort of stuff here.
Yeah,
but what's
about golf?
Yeah,
that's a whole nother.
Oh yeah, that's a whole other episode in itself.
Yeah.
But so what's the stuff that you guys do out west here that's not necessarily golf or fishing, because we covered those? Is there other stuff or other areas that the kids like or that you guys like? Or?
So we do like the parks. We're just the regular parks.
Yeah.
They're always meeting with their friends in them, their buddies in them. I mean, they have from skate parks to little basketball courts that are outside you can go to football, baseball, just the outside stuff, just playing in the like playground type parks. So the kids love that stuff. There are a lot of them.
Absolutely. I had some customers that flew in from New York actually flew in Monday, and then they flew out yesterday afternoon, and they were like, oh my God, how many parks are in Wellington? Because they specifically want to be in Wellington for a multitude of reasons, the schools and all these different things. I'm not going to get into exactly why, but they're like, oh my God, it's like every neighborhood has its own park. And then in between the neighborhoods, there's a city park
today. And I'm like, which one's that? She knows the names of them all.
Oh, wow, yeah, I don't even...
I mean,
I know a lot of them, but I can't, like Brampton Cove, I know where that is. And that's one of them ones, like a lot of the older neighborhoods in Wellington, you have a park that connects two neighborhoods.
Yep.
And that goes all the way down, like Amesbury has, and they all, like you go neighborhood park, and then you have neighborhood park on that side too. So some of them have parks on both sides and stuff. But yeah, and then you have the city sponsored parks, right? So we have some huge city sponsored parks here, and then you have the county parks, of course, and then you have the state parks. So by the time you get through all the parks, yeah, you could just spend weeks and weeks trying to hit each one of them one time.
And then it's Saturday night, and the kids say, let's go watch the horses jump.
There you go. Yeah, jumping while you got all the equestrian and stuff.
That's like golf. That's a whole different episode.
Yeah, I know. No, but the equestrian part of it is huge out here. I mean, for... what I was getting ready to say is, okay, it's for older people. All right, let's get into let's go walk. Where are we going to go walk? Oh, let's go to Okeela, or let's go to whatever the different parks. And actually, the park... Again, so yeah, you're right. There's so many I'm not going to remember the name, but the one that's off Flying Cow, that huge preserve back behind that's massive. I don't know the name of it, but Flying Cow Road, there's only one of them, and it's not that long of a road. So the one that's off Flying Cow Road, there's like 7 miles of trails or something back there, and they have that big tower you can walk up, the observation tower. I mean, it's huge, and there's horse trails back there too. So it's people and horses, and they're just like
Do you think any of your listeners out there know how they got the name of Flying Cow Road?
No, but please, that's a good story.
I don't know it.
I don't either.
I don't like.
Actually, I did know it. So
So I want to see it because it'll be posted, right? So somebody's got to post it in the comments. Somebody got the name Flying Cow Road here in Wellington, Florida.
Barry Manning told me to answer that question like 20 something, and I just don't remember. But I know he told me.
I'd like to
Barry Manning is the all-knowing oracle of all the crap that's going on around here. And he didn't even live in Wellington.
Barry Manning.
Barry Manning, magical name, magical man. And those of you that don't like Barry, which is almost nobody, I'm sorry I mentioned the man's name. Just kidding. Barry's awesome. But Flying Cow Road, and we have a lot of interesting names. And honestly, I think if I remember right, the answer to that was there was a Flying Cow Farm, and that was like Flying Cow Road.
I mean, my kids are going to go nuts when they hear this. They want to go see the Flying Cow Farm now, I'm sure, if you're saying there's one.
Well, if you're a good daddy, you can make flying cows happen. So you go figure that out. Go get you some cardboard and some paper mache, and you get you some cows.
Some cows.
There is a castle out there. You can always show them the castle, a full-on legit castle. Have you seen that one?
No, I have not.
Yeah, it's out there, and it's like, let me see, maybe the 4th or 5th right. Once you get to the farms, and you go down, it's like on the left, almost back. The back's to the park actually.
That's right.
pretty cool. Where were we? Boy, we got way off of there. I'm going to push another button that you haven't pushed. What does this say? That one was for me. That's awesome.
There you go.
Applause.
Applause.
No.
Applause.
Why is that? I thought another one was applause too. What's
The top left one is a different language, so I don't know what that button is. Would you like to hear? Oh, the intro. There you go. Very good.
That's a cool
Next
stuff
time you
there.
start, we're making sure you have an intro.
Yeah, I have an intro. I have a professionally made intro that my brother-in-law Brian Parks made. Thank you very much, Brian Parks. Brian Parks is up in the Baltimore area, and he actually does jingle writing and stuff like that.
Nice.
So we have a cool
Very
intro, right? So it's pretty cool. It's different, unique, custom. The way we like to
Custom's
do
always
things,
fun.
custom. All right, let's get back to the podcast in question, though. So we've gone over kind of like the kid things, a lot of stuff to do, a lot of parks, but what do the adult Sallies like to do should they perchance get an evening off without the children's?
So, me personally, I like a lot of restaurants.
I didn't really mean you. I meant your
The
wife, and what does she like to do that you take her to do, really, is what I meant.
So
He'll get it eventually.
we do like a lot of restaurants. Lately, we've been into one. I think it's Kabuki's, a little sushi place.
Oh, Kabuki's awesome. I love
That
Kabuki.
place is amazing.
Awesome.
I think.
Awesome happy hour
We do
too.
like to go to the movies, and the Wellington Mall is amazing, and I love the movies there. But we also love the little theater that's back in Wellington. We go there quite a bit. That one is it's just an old school kind of feeling. If you've ever been to it.
You just said that's back in Wellington. You mean in the back of Wellington?
Yes.
Yes.
Not on
Everybody
the
jokes it.
outskirts of- Yes, by JoJo's.
Yeah, exactly.
Center.
Yeah.
That
So,
we
that is
go
a
to that
cool-
one quite often.
Yeah, it's a fun little place.
Yes, it is.
Cheap too. I mean,
Kind of like that
we're-
turnstile kind of
Yeah.
thing, and they're collecting the tickets.
Absolutely, man. Very old fashioned, I guess
Yes,
you would say.
yes.
Yeah, no, that's a fun one. Although the Wellington theater is pretty cushy.
Yes.
And
You want the big IMAX experience. I don't know if it's IMAX, but you want the big screen,
they have an
like the
IMAX
giant
one,
screen
yeah.
experience.
Well, they're all giant screens. Well, not yet. All the ones in Wellington are pretty damn big, but I think they have an IMAX there. I'm pretty sure they have an IMAX there. No, they don't. You got to go downtown for IMAX.
Then the seats are nice. And
they
yes,
have
we do like to go to the one, I call it like West Del Rey. They actually have the seats
the
there with
new
the
one over
delivery
there.
food
Yeah,
and stuff
yeah,
too.
yeah,
So
that
there's,
one's great.
we do like the
That's the
movies a
market.
lot. We
I'm
probably
moving my hat
easily
forward. This is
go.
part of the
Oh,
podcast.
I'm sorry.
This is
Easily
all-
go once a month.
That's at the marketplace, I think, at Del Rey or
Yes.
whatever. Yeah, that's pretty. And
That's
that's
a nice one.
that's also, I think, where God, my memory sucks, man. My wife's favorite, well, whatever, one of her favorite places, the Bourbon Place. Really good food. They have a whole bourbon library room, and all this.
A bourbon library. That sounds like an entire episode.
No, it's an entire. Oh, it is. It's cool. It's like they have an entire room. They call it the library, and there's like just bourbon stack. And when you get there, if you're with an aficionado like Alex Cassis, who might grace us with his presence sometime, they actually go, okay, here's the Bible, and they like this thick, and it's all the whiskeys and bourbons they have, and it's like, yeah, it's pretty. The Warren. It's called the Warren. I remembered
nice.
something for a change. That's nice. And that's one thing that also has come up a lot. Like the food choices here have become amazing.
Yes.
30 years ago we had, you had your Floridian type stuff, and that was about it. But now it's pretty amazing, and we got all the big name chefs, Ballou, Keller, stuff like that are all coming down now too. But the food scene is very eclectic. You can get anything you want from pretty much any country. If it's been out there, we've got it here.
Yes.
This is the new melting pot, I guess, and it makes it a lot of fun, So
I'd say one of my favorite little spots is Mississippi Sweets.
I've never heard of Mississippi Sweets. Tell me about Mississippi Sweets.
It's a little barbecue spot right on Lake Worth and 441. I mean, we've gone there so much. Literally.
Is it over by the wing?
So if you're looking at the Publix, it's just to the
On
left
the
of it.
other side.
Yes.
So you got Publix, and then on that side is a bagel place.
Yes.
I've never heard of it.
Oh, it's
Good.
If you like barbecue, you'll
Really?
like Mississippi Sweets. Yes, it's
Mississippi Sweets.
it's magical.
It's magical.
You literally it's the same gentleman's been in there running it. As a matter of fact, we used to go in there so much that when my wife was pregnant,
It's been around that long?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So she's in the hospital, and so at that time my dad and my grandfather came down from Virginia. So we all went to eat at Mississippi Sweets, and as soon as we walked in the door and they didn't see her because she loves it,
They go, "What's
they
wrong?"
go, oh, she's having the baby, isn't she?
Ah,
and they knew
that's
she
awesome.
liked the lemonade or the iced tea. The iced tea is what it was. They made her an iced tea to go to take to her in the hospital.
So it was like cheers for barbecue.
Yes.
That's
yes.
awesome. I never knew that was there. We will be
Yes.
checking out Mississippi Sweets, so anybody's got a promo code, go ahead and slap it on over our way.
There you go.
But no, we'll definitely check it out. If they've been there that long, they're doing something right.
Yes, they're amazing.
That's awesome. All right, so look, it seems like you're living a pretty well-rounded life here in South Florida.
We try.
So I guess in closing, like that's my camera. Don't look at it. Don't look at it.
I'm not
That's
looking
ours.
at that camera.
That's yours. So to your former compatriots in Virginia, give them a quick 30-second pitch as to why they should get the hell out of Virginia and come on down here to South Florida.
Do not come here to South Florida. You do not want the weather. You don't want to come down here for all the year-round sports if you have kids. Stay away from our restaurants. Just stay north where your weather's amazing up there. Because down here sometimes it gets below 60. Sometimes it gets below 60, and it's if you can't bear that, you might not like this town.
So you're thinking we're getting a little full?
No, just a little full. Just a little full. But we have plenty of room because look at how much stuff they're building out west. So there's plenty of stuff to come.
That's
and if you're
awesome.
going to come, I think there's one realtor that you could speak with.
That's right.
And if you come down, he has promised. Can I tell him about the promise?
Why not?
He did promise if somebody out there says we're moving down and buying a house that he would actually present us a picture on this podcast of him with hair.
Oh yeah, I'll do that all day long.
We want to see a picture of Andrew
good with hair.
back when he had hair.
It's been a while. It's been a long time. Actually, when I got married, I was young. I was 20 something. I was already bald as hell. All right, is there any button that we haven't pushed?
The trombone, a sad trombone, but we got to end on a happy note. Yeah.
This one?
Yeah.
No, let's do the sad trombone first. That's awesome. All right, cool. What about this one? Did we do that one?
We did scare.
Yeah, we did that one.
Maybe not drums.
Oh, drums.
You want to hit drums?
Not much going on.
Oh, it's that old one.
Yeah, it's BS. All right, ladies and gentlemen, time to wrap up this segment. If you want to stick around, actually, you're not going to stick around because we're going to cut you off on this, but if you want to check out a little bit more about Dave Salley and his professional opinion about finance, check out our Real Talk episode that's going to come up after this. And if not, come on down to South Florida. And if you do come down, I promise you that, and you buy a house from me, I promise I will put a big photo of me with hair on this podcast. Thank you very much, sir.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, be good. Hey, guys, thank you for tuning in to Living in South Florida Does Not Suck. Please do subscribe with the notification bell on. If you liked today's guest, you can also get more information about them right here. Like magic, it will appear. Anyways, we love having you here. We love having your friends here. Shout it out from the rooftops. Like us on Facebook. Share it with your friends. We'll see you soon here in beautiful, sunny South Florida.